4 minutes. Hey there. I was not watching the clock. Hi, ladies. Sorry about that. They're logging in. Hey guys, sorry about that. I was not watching the clock. I just got off another McDougall call earlier and was not paying attention. So I apologize. All right, welcome, welcome. Hey, Melanie. All right, let's see. I've got a paper here. All right, we're just getting a couple more people popping in on here, and then the ones that aren't on, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody in those first 4 minutes when I wasn't paying attention to the clock. They will get to watch the playback. So hold on just a second. All right, guys. Well, welcome, welcome. Today is June 6th, 2021. Welcome to today's The Starch Lady. We have a guest speaker today, a mystery guest speaker. We didn't tell you their name, so we will introduce them in a little bit here. Let me grab my notes real quick. Let's see here. All right, let's get started. Up in the corner, Deborah, I know you're muted, so you might be at work. Or if you're able to come on and tell us about your week and how it's been going for you, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, yep, sorry, I am working, but I just put my microphone on. Week is going really, really good. I'm having a wonderful week. How's everybody else doing?
Good, good. It's been fun. Everybody else doing okay? Any new recipes this week? Been watching your posts. I tried your eggplant. Girl, I forgot the barbecue sauce, but then I added it and it was really, really good. It stuck to the grill, but that's why those little trays pop out and get washed. So I did it inside, but next time I'm going to do it outside. I think you do it outside, don't you?
Yes, outside. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll try that next time. So
definitely.
That's exciting. So cool. All right. Well, definitely we're excited to have our guest speaker on today's, but let's just go through everybody here so far. Mama Gina, what's going on in your world? You got bad weather. Thank goodness you're here with me today.
Yeah, the kids' class got canceled because it's at a park and it was supposed to pour rain. So, but that's where I've been the past 2 Wednesdays.
Okay. Okay.
Doing pretty good. I got a little, I don't know. I don't really want to say off track because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I feel like when I got back from my vacation at the end of May, I just was overeating a lot and I had too many things that had fat in them, even though they were plants. And so today I weighed myself for the first time since like 2 days after I got back. And I'm down some because I gained a lot on vacation. And I think like you, it has to do with swelling and stuff like that, traveling. And then I know I had things that had sodium in them, but I gained 14 pounds is what it said while I was on vacation.
14 pounds?
And I was only gone for a week. So I think a lot of that was water weight.
Yeah. And you did a lot of, you did pretty good eating on your trip too. So
yeah,
that's water weight.
2 meals a day and only ate one out and it was vegan. I mean, that's the best that I could do.
So for those that might have missed it, I'm going to screen share really quick. I want to show you that post I got from another one of the McDougall sites the other day. Go to the group page here. Let me go over here, slide this over here, get this out of the way. I got kids all over the screen here. There it is right there. Go there. Look at how it explains. Let me turn up the volume here so you can hear me, or I can hear you. Going down right here. So this explains fat loss and weight loss. So fat cells filled with triglycerides, which is fat. And when you diet, you lose the stored fat in the cells, which gets refilled with water to maintain its size until the cells shrink and the results finally come. So you can see here on this illustration, they're showing 185, up a couple pounds because it's filling up with water. And then all of a sudden you lose. And so, and I've seen this when I've had that issue, getting back on track. It takes maybe about 4 days to 7 days for it to come back out again. And it is incredibly important that you are drinking water during that process. So one of the biggest things for swelling and water retention is being dehydrated enough that you're not getting enough water, and your body says, hey, you're not giving me enough water, so I'm going to hang on to every drop you've got. And you've been losing weight, so I'm going to like replace that fat with some water for a little bit, just in case you change your mind and have those fat cells ready. And now here you are, and then you're able to release it. So keep that in mind when we're doing stuff like that. I think we lost Debbie there for a second. Hopefully she'll pop back in. So,
I also definitely was not drinking enough water while I was out of town.
Speaking of water, Dawn, are you there? Dawn? My assistant was over there a little bit ago. Yes, that's a big thing. So drinking the water, and I recommend people drink a glass of water that they're comfortable with, like every 2 hours. From the time they wake up and pee, get your first glass of water. You always want to drink before you eat. And we've talked about this in the past, but your stomach has to have a mucosous lining to receive and help digest food. And it helps to determine whether the food is acidic or alkaline. It determines whether or not you're secreting hydrochloric acid into your stomach, or your alkalophil glands are releasing alkaline, depending on what you ate. So if you're eating an animal protein, dairy, type thing, your body would secrete hydrochloric acid, the standard American diet, for example. If you're eating plants and potatoes, rice, beans, things like that, your body really needs just a little bit of the alkaline secretions to help break that down. But that mucosous lining is kind of like, for lack of a better way of describing it, kind of like the lining of your uterus. It's there, it receives and digests the food, and then it goes away, flushes out. And that's created from a fresh source of water. So if you jump out of bed and you start putting food in your mouth and you're dehydrated from the day before, and you don't have that fresh supply of water, your body's going to start stealing it from the closest places it can get it from. It's going to pull it from your heart. It's going to pull it from your lungs. It's going to pull it from your brain. And that puts you at risk for, heart issues, respiratory issues, memory issues. How many times have we gone to work, or our kids have gone to school, and we're just kind of in a fog, because we grabbed food and ran out the door, and our body's having to pull all this moisture from where it can get it. So without any heart or kidney issues, if you were to drink 8 to 16 ounces every couple of hours, you'd probably be just about right. But that's one of the things we go over in your free personal consult that anybody in the group is welcome to have with me, where we calculate your body weight. We talk about some of your health concerns, so that I'm not recommending a blanket, everybody needs this much water, when everybody does not need the same amount of water. One size shoe does not fit all. It's based on body size and any health issues. So that's a big difference. So Samantha, what you got going on? What you making in there? I don't see the kitchen background today. Are you in a hotel?
I wish I was in a hotel. No, I'm in the kitchen. Okay. I just have you whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that's the ceiling vent. I thought it was like a wall one or something.
That's my ceiling.
What you making for us today?
Same thing I always made, potatoes. making potatoes, and I'm making zucchini. Let's see if I can.
Now we see red. Is it yummy?
Yep, and potatoes, and that's about it. That's
Okay. You're doing the mustard for your dressing today? She's got me hooked on putting just plain mustard on my salad for a dressing, and I'm loving it.
no, you know what I think I'm gonna do is some of that the one that I got from not Ross but the Marshalls, the apple blueberry salsa. That's
Apple
yummy.
blueberry salsa. And that one was okay on the label too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. There's absolutely nothing in here except good stuff. There's no, yeah, no nothing, you know.
Not
And
extra sodium or anything that way?
well, why would there be extra sodium? Because there's no sodium. Oh wait, there is salt. Okay, so it's 2 tablespoons is the serving size, 15 calories,
Okay.
0 fat, 0 saturated fat, 0 trans fat, 0 cholesterol. Sodium is 240.
Which is just a pinch, basically. It's really
And carbs is 4 grams. Total sugars is 3.
any of the added sugars.
That's including the 2 grams of added sugar.
Okay.
And then protein 0, calcium 0. Yeah, everything else is 0.
Okay. Cool. Sounds delicious. Absolutely delicious. I'm just across town if you want to bring me some. I'm just saying.
It is.
All right. Moving along. Is that Melanie on iPad right there? All right, Wave. We're going to come back to you in a minute. So let's look at Diane LeBeau. Tell us how your week's going. Any new recipes this week or magic on the scale or anything?
Well, I'm reducing off my stash. So I've used up most of the freezer and a good part of the refrigerator. So I'm down to just using up a lot of starches. I just had quite a few things in my pantry. So I'm very heavy on starches this week.
Yeah.
Using up rice, cooking rice, a batch cook, and put it into little containers, and it's in the refrigerator. Oatmeal, I batch cook overnight oats, make 4 to 6 of them at a time, 1 cup serving.
I know you were having a trouble with bread. Were you able to curb the processed bread a little bit?
Well, only because I've used up what's on hand. So I'm just continuing to plow through the starches for the next couple of weeks, probably the rest of this month. I'll just be using up all these starches on the shelf. And then at that point, will have myself pretty well cleaned out my pantry, my refrigerator, and, then I can buy a new refrigerator, I can move, whatever. But everything will be nice and light and downsized.
Diane and I got to have lunch in Austin before I had my knee surgery here. And
Yeah,
it was
wonderful.
delightful. We went to a lovely restaurant. What was it called again?
Casa de Luz.
Yes, it was like a village of healthy people. And it had like yoga class rooms and outdoor meditations, and then this lovely restaurant that was 100% vegan. It's actually Rip Esselstyn's favorite restaurant also. He sent me a text on our way up there and said, enjoy the casa. So that was fun. So Rip Esselstyn is the Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's son, who wrote the a book about how to reverse and prevent heart disease. I share his video quite often with my clients. And Rip is the author of the Engine #2 diet for the fire engine station that he got back on track eating plant-based and stuff like that. So he lives up in Austin too, about 70 miles north of me here. So awesome. Well, good to see you. I got so busy, that call that you and I were on earlier today went so long, I lost track of time, and I came onto this one about 4 minutes late. So I hope I didn't lose people trying to figure out why it wasn't starting. So I apologize. Anyways, Debbie Day, talk to me, girl.
Sorry, I've been half working and half listening. What was the question?
Well, we go around and we talk about our week. Last time you were on, Debbie was our mystery guest speaker, and
yes.
She is a moderator, founder of one of the Mary's mini groups that's on Facebook, the non-militant one, the one that doesn't have baseball bats, they hit you over the head if you breathe wrong or eat wrong or look sideways at, something. But love that group. And I've done the Mary's Mini on there a couple of times. I only made it 9 days the last time. I'm not sure what happened there, but she was our guest speaker. And so she's got me hooked on grilling eggplant, something I haven't eaten in a long time. And it comes out kind of steaky, flavory, by the time she puts the barbecue sauce on it and grills it, it tastes like you're eating something you used to eat, So what is new and exciting with you this week? Any massive changes or health issues that have been resolved or weight loss or anything?
Actually, I've started adding a little bike riding to my daily routine, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm booting around the neighborhood all the time after work, and I'm feeling like my hips are a little smaller, so that's a good thing.
Bet you didn't think that was going to happen when you started this journey.
Not really, no.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's shocking how much more energy we have. That's why I'm so frustrated in this wheelchair and walker situation right now. I can't put but 25 to 50% weight on that leg, and they don't want any weight on the back of my knee. So I've been really limited, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm trying to do the stretchy bands with my arms and the nitric oxide, exercises that we learned and stuff like that, trying to wiggle a little bit, but I'm antsy. I got ants in my pants. So good to see you. You're up in Canada, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, next we got Nancy. Nancy, I'm not familiar with Nancy, so introduce yourself.
Hi, this is my first time being here. I think it was Rosemary invited me.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I see Dr. Rowe. So I thought it was you. And then I looked, I'm like, oh, I must be confused. So
Rowe is a nickname for Rosemary. I've had it since high school shorthand.
I just did the math the second you said that. But I've been, how do I want to say, acclimating myself to this way of thinking and doing food for probably way over a year. I decided I'm a big YouTube fan, and so I decided if I'm going to be watching that many videos, because I was living in a place where in the hills where we couldn't get TV, and I just wasn't willing to pay for like major cable or anything like that because I wasn't home enough,
Yeah.
But between being on call at work and not having TV reception at home, YouTube was sort of my source of entertainment. So anyway, so I decided if I'm going to be watching all these videos, I should be choiceful, right, of what I'm propagandizing myself with. And so I decided that this was what I was going to pursue. So I know all the heavy hitters and know a lot of stuff. And I'm just I just moved out on my own for the first time in my life. And I'm just sort of finding my feet in that new situation. But it's nice to have a kitchen where every single thing in it is acceptable.
Oh,
and
that's wonderful. That is
so
a very hard
difference.
challenge. When you live with other people, that's a hard challenge. And just after all these years of eating whole food plant-based, my husband finally just got on board January 1st. And since January, yeah, Samantha knows, since January, he's lost 53 pounds. His blood sugar has gone from like 376 down to like the 130s. And we allow him, this was the pinky promise, we allow him a cheat meal like every 2 weeks when we go out to dinner, but we don't buy it, we don't bring it home. It has to stay there. So
Yep, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Yeah, I totally believe. I have an endocrine disorder, so I'm in a slightly different situation. Those guys, they sure lose weight easily, don't they? But when I was a sweet young thing, I was a professional dancer, and I didn't even hit 90 pounds until I was well into college. If you could see me right now, you'd see I'm an Amazon. I'm 5'8". That's actually not that tall. People experience me as much taller than I am. But anyway, I'm way over 100 pounds overweight right now. And I used to be applauded.
Have you had some success?
I haven't been compliant enough to say anything about that, but I will say that it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'd like to lose the weight, but I'm not doing this for that. I'm doing this to be healthy.
Exactly.
And it's not the focus of my life. And anyway, but I have bigger fish to fry because I really don't want to get that surgery to remove the tumor in my pituitary gland. That just it's dangerous. And people don't die from Cushing's disease, but they sometimes die from that surgery. That just is not a good bet. So I'm going to do everything I can. I'm looking at I just like yesterday went to a sauna. I live in San Jose, California, and believe it or not, in this big metro area, there is not one place that has a full spectrum EMF free sauna. Not one, at least not in a public place, Yeah. So,
I can order one for you if you need one. I do have access to that. But.
No, I mean, that's the whole thing is I was going to order one, but it felt like such a big expenditure for something you've never seen or experienced even once, So I wanted to do that. So they found me one 45 minutes away. And so I made a little road trip of it yesterday to Morgan Hill, to a wonderful place. They actually had doTERRA essential oils there too. And I needed one. So that was great. And I just had the loveliest time. So anyway, I feel good about everything I'm doing and just hoping to I'm in a process to study for a professional licensure exam, which is kind of a big deal. So that's part of what's going on. So I just feel a little overwhelmed in general,
right.
But I understand all of this stuff and I'm grateful to find a place of support. I haven't been totally compliant just because I'm not home very much. And if I don't have my meal prep absolutely perfect, it's not possible. I'm a fainter and, anyway, so
we can talk about
great to be here.
We can talk about that a little bit later today as far as ideas for when you're out and about and what you can do to help stay on program and things like that. Because a lot of us did this for health issues. And I started eating this way back in 2009 when I nearly died from a hysterectomy. I had a tumor on my uterus. I had cancer in my breast. And after they nearly killed me doing the hysterectomy, I wasn't letting them near my breast. And so I had to find a different way. And so I started eating more plant-based, in fact, almost 100% just vegetables. Well, I lost a lot of weight. I reversed the cancer. They were astounded. They tried to do some research on me to find out how I did that. But when they found out I just ate vegetables and drank alkaline antioxidant water, they didn't want to hear anymore. And so they stopped listening, but I kept eating that way. And I went on to get my Doctor of Naturopathy degree and being able to help other people learn how they can heal their own selves by the things that they put in their mouth and the foods they eat, the things they drink. Because people don't realize that everything they put in their mouth, whether they drink it or eat it, actually as gets into the blood, and that blood becomes their tissue and organs. From your hair to your toenails, you are made of blood and blood cells, and that tissue and organ has to be healthy. And so it was a huge journey for me, and to be able to have that reverse all the way down to the fact that I now have no restriction on my driver's license for needing to wear glasses. And I've worn glasses to go to the bathroom since I was a kid. And I don't have to wear glasses anymore. I have 20/20 vision just by removing the meat, the dairy, and the oil from my diet and eating like this. And so we've helped thousands of people. I have thousands of clients all over the nation. And we've got over 300 that's on this call, access through our Facebook group. Some are more active than others, but we've all lost weight, which is that's the cool side effect, is losing weight. But I know Samantha has had chronic pain for 23 years. She doesn't have any pain when she eats like this, right, Sam? And she's nodding her head. And when she goes off, which she found out the week of Christmas to New Year's, and she went off thinking a week wouldn't matter. Oh, girl, she has been back on like a fiend. She will not get, you see that? Sam's like going, no, I don't like pain. I'm not going back to that. So that was pretty interesting. So, all right. Caroline, you just popped on. She's up in Canada also. She's at work. Tell us about your week, girl.
Well, I don't know. I was actually thinking about a few things that have to do with the reasons that we have certain habits, or to do with cravings and stuff. Because there's a book that I've learned about through Lean with Plants.
Mm-hmm.
It's about habits and stuff. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Okay.
And so every once in a while, I have to stop and think about, why am I eating right now, or why do I want to eat something? Is it because I'm actually hungry, or am I bored, or am I trying to distract myself from something I need to get done, or things like that? So I've been a little more more aware of, like, why do I feel like I need an extra helping of something? Like, am I actually hungry, or am I just enjoy eating, so I want to have it?
I found that when we have rice, one serving is enough for me, because I'm not, I'm not in love with rice. If I have a good serving of potatoes, I'm good. Because it satisfies me so quickly. But if there's pasta on the menu, I will go back and back and back and back, because I just have so much fun eating those silly little noodles. I don't know what there is with that, but I know, I recognize that. And it's kind of a joke in my house. If my husband's cooking, it's going to be a potato night. If my son's cooking, it's going to be a rice night, because since he was 5 years old, he called himself the king of rice. And but if I'm cooking, I'm always going to be looking through the pantry trying to find some way to make something with pasta. So they're not letting me cook while I'm in my wheelchair. So I'm pretty excited. So hopefully I'll be out of this thing in about 4 weeks, and we'll be back to normal again. But until then, I have to behave. So, but good job. Tips like that book, and the knowledge that you're learning from that, if you post about that on the Facebook group, that counts as extra points. The way we earn points to win these big prizes. And did you get your waffle iron yet? Is it time yet? Has it got there yet? Not yet. Okay. She was our last month winner, and she picked this darling little pink waffle iron that flips over and has a second plate that makes donuts out of the pancake batter or whatever, that are just going to be kind of fun for her and her 11-year-old that are doing the program with her, this kind of eating. And but when I give these prizes away, we're one of the things we're going to do, and we're going to start this day, I'm going to put another announcement out there, but we've been giving you points for attending these videos, these luncheons that we have every Wednesday, or we've been giving you a point if you watch the playback and left a comment in the descriptions below. We also gave you a point if you shared a tip like this. That's very, very helpful. But I'm seeing less and less pictures of food, and I want to see food flooding that page every day with so many ideas that we don't ever lack for ideas of how to prepare the same old every day, and just a different little idea here and there. So I'm going to go back to the posts for food point system, but in order for me to keep my sanity and not have Beth or I have to go in there and look at every single post and keep track, I just need you the night before, Tuesday night, to message me on Instant Messenger and say, here's my points for the week. So I want to know how many pictures of food you posted. I want to know how many dietary or health-wise tips that you put onto the group. And if you attended the class or you left a comment about the classes that we do every week. And so we do those drawings the first Wednesday of every month. So the next drawing is going to be, I can get my calendar to come up. It's going to be June 7th or July 7th, excuse me. I will be on our national road trip that we do every year, making house calls. My husband will be changing filters for our alkaline antioxidant systems that we sell in our whole house contaminant reducers. He'll be taking care of the water part of the clients. I'll be doing their blood and urine. I'm going to actually be meeting Mama Gina in person because I have 2 clients in Indiana, and it's like, what's one more city in Indiana? I'm sure I can find it on the map. So I haven't even looked to see how close you are to what's that one, Hannibal or Warrenburg, if you're close to either one of those cities. So I'll have to look it up and see where you're at. But might as well. I mean, when in Rome, do as the Romans. We're going to do the Indiana thing. So I'll be in Huron, Michigan at the tip of Canada at our son-in-law's bed and breakfast up there. So that's about as close as I'll get to waving at you guys. But I can stand on a tuna can and wave at y'all if you'd like. But hopefully we'll get to see more people as we go across the nation and such. But we do this every year, and it's just one of my highlights. And the bonus is I get to see our grandkids and children all at the same time. So we're pretty excited. So that leads us to our ta-da-da-da, drum roll, please. We're going to have our guest speaker on now. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest speaker. It's Miss iPad over here. Her name says iPad, but it is actually Melanie Boorse. Am I saying that correctly? Okay. Melanie started eating this way at 225 pounds. She was swollen, tired, constipated, and had bad acne, lived off potato chips and had a very poor self-image. Currently, she has lost 77 pounds. The acne is clearing up and the constipation's gotten better. She has more energy and is loving herself and this lifestyle. And I might add that she is the other counterpart and partner in crime with Debbie Day over there on the right side of the screen that have been running that Mary's Mini non-militant face group page for quite some time now. And it's fantastic. It got so that I could scroll down and I knew exactly which meals were Debbie's because they were going to be covered with frozen peas. And I could tell which ones were going to be Melanie's because it was going to be, she loves doing the hash brown, I call them tortillas. I don't know what she'll tell us about them more in a minute, but that I saw her hand. I was scrolling through my Facebook and like the skies open and the angels sang. Somebody's hand was holding what looked like a taco. And I went, rewind, what am I looking at? And it was Melanie with this hash brown like tortilla thing that she makes, and she stuffs all kinds of vegetable goodness in there. And I was hooked at first look. And so I joined their page, and we've just really getting to know each other a little bit better, and just thrilled to have her here with us today. So with that being said, I'm going to change the view here so that we can give her our undivided attention to let us hear her story and learn some tips. And if you have something you want me to screen share, just tell me where to go and I will screen share over to it. And we can, or I can give you, I think I can let you. I'll find out. I'll look. All right. So we're going to go speaker view. So, all right. Talk to us.
Hello. Okay, so, I can see somebody pulling up here, so I'm gonna have to change my location. Kids are coming home.
There you go. You're up in Canada also. Are you guys close? Are you like close friends, or just you met through the internet, or are you like buddy buddies? Like Sam and I have known each other for like 23 years or more.
We're talking about Debbie, yes?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we met online.
Nice.
It was on Instagram. I don't know, I think she found me. I don't know how, maybe it was through like hashtags or whatever, because you tend to follow people or like look for similar things when you're following this way of eating for inspiration. So I'm assuming that's how she found me.
You look fantastic, by the way. Your camera is below your chin, and I am always absolutely careful that my camera is never below my chin. You look great, girl.
Yeah, I don't have to overly worry about that much these days, which is really nice because I totally understand the whole double chin camera thing. So yeah, like originally I just trying to think. I've tried to remember how I come about the starch solution, but I've racked my brain and I can't think of where I heard it, but I knew I'd heard it somewhere. And it was one of those things that I'm like, oh, I got to get this book. I got to read this book. And finally I did. And or I ordered the book. And then before it got to me, of course, YouTube, looking for videos and stuff. And I found the John McDougall giving his speech about the starch solution. And that's, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the one where he talks about like people throughout history who have lived on starches, the gladiator or the barley man and so on and so forth. Anyways, I'd watched it that day and I was just like blown away. And like everything that he said, everything that about this lifestyle and way of eating, just I knew it was the right thing. And so when my husband got home that night after work, I said, you have to watch this with me. So I ended up watching it twice that day. And after that, it was like, it was great because we both connected and it resonated with both of us. And we were like, yeah, this is what we have to do. And then I got the book. I read it within like 2 days, I think. And then I said to him, don't ever let me change this way of eating. Don't ever let me fall off this way. And I can't say it's been like 100% perfect. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years and
I wondered
I've fallen off.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's been 5 years, but I have fallen off numerous times. But I always picked myself back up and kept going because I know with everything that this is the right way. And you just feel better, you look better, you lose weight, and there's just too many side effects, but positive side effects. So yeah, and so when I would fall off, I never went back to like eating animal foods, but we know vegan food can be junk food as well. So the oils would creep back in every once in a while, nuts, seeds, like the high fat stuff. Yeah. So it took, actually my grandma had a stroke. When was that? I think that was in January of this year. And so that would have made the second woman in my family to have one. My mother had 3, my grandma had 1. And that was the kick in the pants that I needed. It's way too close in genetics for me. So I thought, okay, that's it, enough messing around. And yeah, I've cut out all oils. I have not, well, since me and Debbie started Maximum Weight Loss, we have not eaten any high fat, no nuts, no seeds, no avocado, no tofu, nothing like that. And what are we going on? Almost 60 days, I think, or close to. So originally I was always following just the starch solution plan. So that allows for flours and, you know, a little bit more leniency. And now we're following Maximum Weight Loss, where it cuts out the high fat, more processed foods. And we're also doing 50-50. So half of our plate is starch, half is vegetables. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So I know y'all did I think you both did it. I know Debbie did the 100-day Mary's Mini. Did you do that as well?
I didn't do the 100. I jumped out at 40.
40.
I'm not sure if you guys know or have heard of Dr. Pam Popper. Okay. She is
she's awesome.
Yeah, she is her and Dr. McDougall are my role models. They are my mentors. They are the ones that I always reference for anything that I want to know. They're very similar. In fact, I believe that's how she got started. She found his work. So I started working with her. Sorry?
What's the name again?
Dr. Pam Popper. She does have a YouTube channel. I just finished reading her book. It's called Food Over Medicine. Highly recommend it. And I'm also working with her. So I had some issues that were not resolving with the change of diet, and it left me scratching my head and not knowing what to do. So I started to work with her. And so I found out a few things. Like I have rosacea. And so, it's just gotten worse and worse. And so I found out that gluten can be a trigger for that. So I've had to cut out gluten. High fat can also flare it up. So again, that's a good thing, cutting out the oils and the nuts and seeds and stuff. So yeah, it's been really awesome working with her. I signed up for her concierge program. It's a 1-year program. So I'll be finished with her in August, but it's been very helpful. So yeah.
I am an absolute obsessed practitioner against gluten. There is not a human being on the planet that can process and fully digest gluten. And my specialty is microscopic blood health. And I tell people the proof is in the blood. And so they can say, oh, gluten doesn't bother me. And I do their blood and I see these little brown furry crystals floating across the screen. I go, that's gluten. And they go, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And I go, yeah, you're eating a lot. And they said, well, what's going to happen to that? And I go, well, that gluten is going to get into your tissue and organs. And what happens to bread when you leave it on the counter? It molds. Same thing with protein. Animal protein is like little black crystals. And I've seen big ones too, and little ones. I mean, we're living in a microscopic world, but in my world, if I see it, it doesn't belong there. Dairy is actually turquoise. It's a beautiful color, bluish greenish color, but it kind of color in my shirt here, but that doesn't belong in your blood, but that's dairy. And so infections, red, environmental toxins. I mean, there's all these different things that I can identify just by looking at a drop of blood in the microscope. And nobody on the human planet can fully digest gluten. Even people who say, I have no problem with it, because they think that having a poop this size once every 3 days is normal. And so when I beg them, just pinky promise me that you're just going to not do gluten for the next 4 days and call me, just give it a try. 4 days later, they always call and say, oh my word, I just had the biggest bowel movement I've ever had in my entire life. And so they're freaked out that their bowels are working better. Their skin clears up. Their thyroid starts functioning better over time. Tension in the shoulders and neck area decreases just by removing this. ADHD, autism, all of these things, neurologically related, nerve related, are absolutely improved every single time. And I'm not talking about sometimes or part of the time. I'm talking about 100% of the clients who follow a gluten-free diet, just like when they follow a whole food plant-based diet with no oil, everything about them improves, and their blood goes from being all sticky and stuck together, full of crystals and parasites and stuff, to beautiful plasma, beautiful round, perfect blood cells. The dry blood looks perfect. And that gives me an image of what the tissues and organs are forming and looking like. So it's a huge thing that people do not give enough credit to. So I have actually changed PCPs, what they call them, our primary care physicians here in the States, because I did not get the gluten support from the doctors that I had previously. And I finally found one that was gluten friendly, I guess you could say, that understood the need for me to not have and not take over the counter or any other kind of medications, even after surgery, because they all have gluten fillers in them. And how devastating that is to my digestive system. If I get just a crumb, I can't even go to dinner with my husband, and if he has croutons on his salad and he gives me a kiss, I'm not going to have a bowel movement for 6 days. That is not a fun thing to experience. So I have to be extremely adamant about that. There's like two types, kind of like diabetes, where there's like two types. But my mother had chronic diarrhea. I have the chronic constipation kind, and all it takes is a crumb. So I'm glad that the rosacea is another thing that I can add to my list that it would help with. That's good to know that. So I'm anxious to do some research on her and find out more about her. And I'm gonna be YouTubing this afternoon, girl.
Yes, I binged her when I found her. Like, she is, I don't know, I think either you're repulsed by Dr. John McDougall or you love him, and I love him. He's my kind. I don't know, he's very blunt, he's very to the point, he's very straightforward, and she is very much the same. And just those two, if I could pick their brains, oh my goodness, it would be an awesome day.
So that was one of the advantages of doing the 12-day McDougall online course I did in January is, you know, Tiffany would call every morning and get my weight, my blood pressure, my blood sugar, and talk to me about the day before to see and if there was anything going on, to make sure if there was a little weight gain, what I did that maybe retained water, blah, 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 you know, and it was just like a one-on-one. And then right after that, at 8 o'clock every morning was one-on-one with Dr. McDougall and Mary. And we could ask them anything we wanted. It was a little chit chat, you know, and then they'd get off, and an hour later we'd have a lecture, and then we'd have another lecture, and then we'd have like a food demonstration, and then we'd have like a 2 to 3 hour gap to live life and cook dinner basically. And then we were back on for 2 or 3 more guest speakers. And this went on for 12 solid days through the weekend and everything. And it was $1,495, which is like less than half of what the normal ranch or the clinic price was if you went in-house. But with COVID, they couldn't do that. So when COVID shut everything down in March, between March and August, they got their brains together and figured out how to do it over the internet. And they're actually having more success because more of us are able to, we have to cook our own meals. We don't have it just laying out on a buffet spread. So if something goes wrong, we know it on a daily, or we're learning on a daily. Whereas a lot of the people that were in-house that we've talked to, because we have Facebook chat groups every Wednesday morning. I got off one this morning just before this call. That's why I was late. That is all of the graduates from, you know, whether they were in-house or online, and we chat about everything and share ideas and recipes. Today we were talking about the kids learning on the Indian reservations that one of the girls in the group does. And I mean, we just become friends. We have another group that's just our class from January that meets Friday mornings. And then we have, of course, this group every Wednesday. So we've got like 3-4 times a week that we can really stay in touch. And the McDougall program, another thing, after they met with us every day for 12 days medically to track and be accountable, then for 3 months, they contacted us once a week to get those same numbers and catch up with us. And now I'm at the point now where they're going to call once a month, starting this month as our first once a month. And so that's been invaluable. I'm like you, I did the YouTube submersion, and I really, at first I was disappointed that I wasn't learning anything new. It was just a live repeat version of everything that I had listened to 20 times on YouTube. But the value is in the fact that they do follow me medically. I can ask Dr. Lim any medical question I want. I can contact.
I got to meet Dr. Lim a few years ago, actually.
You met with Dr. Lim?
I did. I went to, it was called the Fork Smart Summit in Calgary, Alberta. And Dr. McDougall didn't come, but he was on the big screen. Dr. Lim came. He was actually staying in the same hotel. We were neighbors. And I seen him and I said, "Hi, Dr. Lim." And he turned around like, who would know me? And I said, "I'm coming to the summit." So he was, I really like him. Yeah.
He is such a personal guy. He has got an excellent bedside manner. And I have to be honest, out of the entire McDougall staff, he is my favorite, even over Dr. McDougall. Dr. McDougall is blunt, and with that comes a little bit of arrogancy. And so, I just love Dr. Lim. He was just very personable, literally cares about me. And I'm sure he's making every single person that he meets with feel that way.
Yeah.
So that was really wonderful. That really, really was. And you can, anybody, even if have not done the class, you can sign up for a medical consultation from Dr. Lim or their staff. I don't know if Dr. McDougall's doing any right now. He may, and you can pay for that. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn is my other go-to guy, and he does it too. It's quite pricey for him, but you actually get him one-on-one. So I'm thrilled with that opportunity. People ask me why I don't charge for my Facebook group or my free phone consultations. And I say, literally, this is me paying it forward. I am so grateful for what I've learned from them, because since 2009, when I was bedridden with daily nurse care and wound vac and all that stuff with the cancer issues, I had gone straight up plants. And if I ate anything other than a plant, my body retained it. So I actually put on weight. I lost weight, then I put weight back on. And then I hit a plateau that I was stuck at for a good 10, 11 years. And until I discovered Dr. McDougall, December of 2019, did 6 months of research, because that's just how my brain works. Dabbled here and a bit for a couple of recipes to see if I wouldn't gag. And then I gave it my full commitment last year. And by adding in the starches to a completely plant-based diet, what a difference. I'm no longer tired. I have energy from the energy starches. I'm no longer hungry all the time. So I'm not constantly grazing for something. I mean, I tell people all the time, I don't care how healthy the food is. If you overeat it, you will gain weight. It's a thing. So being able to put those two things together, I'm indebted to Dr. McDougall for bringing that to YouTube, or I would have never found it ever. And then I've got the books and everything else, and I've just become a little bit obsessed. But because it's not my research, I feel like it would be inappropriate for me to charge for it. But I just really want other people to have the help, have the weight loss if they need it, have the success that I've had. And this is just my giving back, because I would have never figured it out on my own. That eating a potato to me was like death, because I thought all starches were the same, that they were just as evil as a donut, and I wouldn't put them near my mouth for that plus. And now it's like I am the lady who carries the potatoes in her purse. You know, that is me. So I totally get it. So I mean, so you've lost 77 pounds. Tell us what that has done for your self-esteem. You mentioned that earlier.
Well, actually, just probably in more so the last few months, I've been, because I'm hearing it from others. So it's hard when you see yourself every day. My clothes are usually pretty stretchy, so there's not a lot of, I mean, if I wear a pair of jeans every day, I might be able to feel the difference, but I'm in leggings all the time. And so for me, it's like, I don't really notice. So when other people are saying things, oh, you look so good, and oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, I had a lady, where was that, a couple of weeks ago, that I see maybe once a month, and she saw me that day and she was just like, oh my God, you are stunning. I'm like, but I just saw you. Like, so for me, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to see it for myself, but now that people are saying stuff and I'm kind of working on my self-image internally, it feels really good. But prior to this, I think I also struggle with a little bit of maybe body dysmorphia. So it's hard to see past what it was. But I'm getting there, and I'll get there, and it's just a process. So yeah.
Seeing people every single day, which you see yourself in the mirror every single day, we don't notice it.
No.
I'm in that same space where I feel like the 42-pound heavier person, but the clothes don't fit the same. I mean, these fit. I have collarbones. Do you see that? I have collarbones. And, so I don't see it as often, but because of the way that I see my clients, they come in average of every 3 months to 6 months to a year. And when they pop into the clinic and they're like asking for Dr. Rowe, and I'm going, it's me. And they're like, well, no, it's not. You know, they don't recognize me. That is crazy. And this trip is going to be a mind blower because these people that we're seeing across the nation have not seen me since last year. And I had just started June 1st, and we were gone from the middle of June to the end of July. So they're going to see me 42 pounds lighter, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond to me. But we were at a client's house the other day we hadn't seen since March of last year, a little over because of COVID. And the husband literally asked, you know, about me because he didn't recognize that it was me. You know what I mean? And he just kept saying it over and over again. He said, no, you don't look like you. I mean, you're not the same person, you know? So that's mind blowing. And then my husband, oh my goodness, we're going to his 50th high school reunion. Yes, honey, I said that out loud. 50th class reunion. And he looks about this within 20 pounds of what he graduated. And this is a man who's lost 53 pounds since January 1st. So it's not about that. We started for him because of his blood sugar being so high. Like I said, 376 is scary levels. And to have that drop in 20 days of eating potatoes, rice, beans, lentils, pasta, and vegetables, 50-50, mind blowing for him. And that's what keeps him motivated, is that he knows if he eats this way, his blood sugars stay down. The only way it pops up if he ignores that calorie density thing and he gets into too much popcorn, air fried popcorn, or the baked chips. And that will make him go up on the scale. And he knows that. And it also changes his blood sugar. So everything they've taught us about the blood sugar and how it responds. I mean, you can put in any subject. Now my go-to is not my, naturopathic or medical reference guides on my desk. It's like McDougall diabetes, McDougall, HIV, McDougall.
His website, it's amazing. I can't even tell you how many times I've been on that thing and read till my eyeballs bled. It's amazing. That search feature. Oh, I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything is right there. So, okay. So self-esteem, your skin's clearing up, your bowels have improved. What are some other benefits, cost-wise? I mean, are you like me where you're noticing a huge reduction in your grocery bill?
I don't know. I guess probably. I mean, it's been 5 years, so I'm assuming there's, a reduction of what it used to be. Probably roughly, I would say, I spend about, so we're a family of 4, and we probably spend around $1,000 a month. So it works out to be, I don't know, maybe $50 to $75 a week per person, which I'm assuming is way less than having to buy
meat and everything else.
Meats and stuff like that, for sure. Especially here, everything is so much more expensive. But yeah, so I'm sure there is, but it's been a bit. So other than that, like
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, for me, I didn't have any health issues that, really stood out. Like, I wasn't diabetic. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have high cholesterol. I didn't have any of those things at all. So I don't have like a huge success story where I like reversed any of those things. But I mean, I'll take the weight loss. I couldn't do a whole lot getting to that size. Like, I was even struggling to tie my own shoes. So I had kids, and that for me was a huge benefit for sure. So
because of this last surgery snafu that I had on my knee repair, and I developed an ileus, and I wasn't able to have a bowel movement for like 10 days, and that was not a good thing. They ended up doing a CAT scan of my lower body. And in the report, I was just reading it yesterday, it said that my spleen was perfect. My adrenals were perfect. My liver was perfect. My kidneys was perfect. I mean, it went through every organ that it could see during that CAT scan, just trying to look at my colon, but it identified all these other areas. And the last time I had one of those done years ago, it said I had a fatty liver. It didn't say that this time. It said that I had stones in my gallbladder. It said that my gallbladder was completely clear and void of any stones or debris. That's mind-blowing to me, because I have done nothing different except cut out those three things: the meat, the dairy, and the oil. You know, losing the glasses, I knew that was a plus, but you were concerned about your family history of strokes.
Yep.
And the thickness of the blood and cutting off the blood vessels and circulation. My mother died from a pulmonary embolism. My dad had a stroke and died from pneumonia in the hospital thereafter. So to be able to see this many body organs that say, you know, void of, void of, void of, and everything's clear, when before it was such a big deal, that is absolutely empowering. That's money you take to the bank right there, you know. So do you have a before picture at all that you could share with us?
I sent you a few, so
Okay.
if you want to look and decide which ones you want to share.
Well,
Some are a little more
we're gonna
graphic
go
than
find
others, but
we're gonna go find it. So it's on Instant Messenger.
so there is actually undergarments. So if you wanted, yeah, just in undergarments. Yeah.
So this one here, this is, look at the
Yep.
facial shots difference here.
Yeah.
Look at that. See the difference in that. And then you're riding a bike, which you probably didn't think of when you were heavier. We were just talking about that earlier with Debbie toting around the area and stuff. And I got a bike just before I had this injury. And it's one of those beach bikes that has a little basket. It should have a bell too, you know. And I can't wait to get back on it, you know. And over in the corner here, I've got an elliptical and a rebounder and a recumbent bicycle. Can't do any of those right now until I get into rehab. But look at this difference. I mean, it's like you've lost like a third or half of your face. That's amazing. So that's incredible. Let's see here. Let me go back. You said that I need to be discretionary here, so I'll try to be cool here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, let's go back. Where'd it go? There we go. Back again. So that's the bicycle one. Now this one is that's, look at that. Okay. Yeah, you can see a big difference there as well. That's amazing. Very, very exciting. Now I am going to bounce over right now because I want to show them some of the food that you've been posting on our group. And I want to show them some of the ones that you've been doing on the Mary's Mini group, because you've got such great ideas, and I want to make sure that they see some of those. So let's go over here and look for Mary's Mini.
I think I missed it. How long did it take for you to go from that to that?
Well, I've been doing this for 5 years, but because I wasn't ready to give up the oils and the nuts and the seeds and stuff like that, I always bounced back and forth. So had I given up the high fat, it probably would have happened ages ago, but I wasn't ready, and I am now. So
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go over here.
I don't bounce back and forth, but I cheat a lot because it's, yeah, I just
because
do.
it's good.
And
Yeah.
as long as I don't cheat enough to make my pain come back, I'm happy. You know, I'm okay. I would like to lose another 10 pounds, but if I don't, oh well. So as long as I don't have pain, I'm good.
Problem with me is when I cheat, so one thing I've noticed now that I've cut out the high fat and the oils, my what is it called? The neuroadaptation has settled in, and so my body's become accustomed to the low fat now, so I don't have those cravings. And the minute I give myself that stuff, it's like all hell could break loose. So I'm starting to learn that's probably not what I should do if I want to stay, you know, but a treat here and there once in a blue moon. Yeah.
One of the biggest shocks to me was the reduction in sugar cravings eating like this. That blew my mind. I thought it was going to get out of control, but now that I'm giving my body the energy starch fuels that it needed the whole time, because you can only burn starch or fat. And we know that according to Dr. McDougall and Dr. Esselstyn, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. You know, the oils. I mean, Dr. Esselstyn has one video where he probably says no oil, no oil, no oil, like 20 times to get it through your head. And then he repeats it for good measure, you know? So that's been a shock to me, is to learn. And like I said earlier, the flavor, the enhancement of the flavor of the foods, not having it coated in oil, blew my mind. And you know what? If I get oil now, I can taste the rancid. I had learned long ago that olive oil only has a very short lifespan. And it's like less than a month and it starts to go rancid. And it takes over 8,000 olives to make a quart or a liter of olive oil. And there's like 55 or 60 or 55 to 80, I think, olives just to get a tablespoon. Whereas you could never sit down and eat an entire jar and a half of olives, but that's what you'd be doing if you sat down and ate 80 olives in a session. You would never do that. I think on the post I said, the only way I could possibly do that is if I was 5 years old and I was at a picnic at the family reunion and they had a bowl full and I could stick them all on my fingers and eat them. You know, I might be able to pull it off then, but then I would be very sick because I'm not used to eating it like that. So I'm over here on the Mary's Mini and she's got, looks like potatoes. Is that pasta or cauliflower, right?
Yeah.
So cauliflower, it looks like some seasoned chubby fries, salad, just great examples here. Let me see if I can go down. How do I get over here? I need to go, let me go back this way where I go to, How did I do this before? Okay, let's just go down. You'll see a lot of these here. Okay, come on. You can go down. You can go down further. Let's see, maybe I have to click on it this way. I think, did we have to do this last time, Debbie, where we had to put your name in? And we find post from her. And let's see if it'll just, there we go. Okay, see that? This, I stopped and did my ERK attack when I first ran across Melanie's name. And I thought, wow, she's looking thin behind it. And that looks absolutely amazing. And tell us how you make that.
Oh, I gotta think. Okay, I think those were steamed potatoes. I
shredded them at this point, I think.
And then so I had made them the night before. And then the next night, I shredded them with like a cheese grater. And then, so they become, when they're steamed like that and they've sat in the fridge, they become like gluey almost in a sense, sticky. And so that works to your advantage because it'll, you know, it sticks together better that way. And then you just kind of wet your fingers a little bit and push it down on the pan. And then I believe I threw it in the oven. It's been a while since I made it. So, and that was my first attempt and it came out perfect. I was blown away. It was so good. And then the taco meat there, that was made out of cauliflower. Yeah, cauliflower and onions and then seasonings and stuff. So it was it helped to make it like, because it's such a restrictive diet. It really helped to make it like it was like a treat night.
Yeah. And it was cauliflower with some seasonings on it. Oh, darn, you know. Because you did that with the hash browns, I had I've been making the mashed potato crust pizza, and it is absolutely delightful. And I had extra hash browns, and so remembering this, I just smashed them in the bottom of one of my silicone baking, like a pie pan, and it turned into, using this concept, it turned into a deep dish pizza, and it held together really, really well, I guess, because the hash browns were all kind of intertwined. And I baked it, and then I put the toppings on and threw it back in the oven again. So that was fun. So This one is Melanie. That's looks like another like taco salad version.
Mhm.
Probably with one of our, is it a potato cheese sauce?
Yeah.
And this is, looks somebody else in your group, but lots of great ideas for how to do a Mary's Mini. And they, of course, a Mary's Mini can be a single starch and then a vegetable. And I saw one restriction from years and years ago when it was first released. I saw something where you had to have the same vegetable all that time too. And that would get so monotonous. You would only eat only when you were hungry. So, but the Andrew from Australia, he's done an entire year of the Mary's Mini. Debbie did 100 days. So this is like a Debbie plate right here. No, that's Melanie's. Yeah, the frozen peas. But I mean, gosh, this is just great ideas for how to get through a Mary's Mini and have it still be delicious and nutritious and all that fun stuff. And now that they've been doing about 40 days now of the maximum weight loss, and the difference with that is the regular starch solution is 70 to 90% starches with a little bit of vegetables. Dr. McDougall really isn't that big on vegetables. He's all about the starch. But to do the maximum weight loss, we do half the plate starch, half the plate, vegetable without any oil or anything with that. We can do our cheese sauces and stuff, which are made out of potatoes and carrots, garlic, onion, nutritional yeast, that sort of thing. Or we've also done it with cauliflower and roasted red bell peppers, comes out tasting like nachos cheese sauce. Or that latest one we've been trying that looks like creamy, stretchy mozzarella, and it's made with cauliflower and garlic and onion powder, a little nutritional yeast, and tapioca starch, which makes it stretchy and gooey. So all kinds of good ideas here. And then I want to pop over to our page so you can see some other ideas too. Now this one, at first I thought this was the lady holding the taco. I thought this lady, because she had the same thin body structure and you don't really see your head in that picture. So I thought it was her that had created that taco thing. And so then I finally got the name straight and it's like, no, that's a Melanie thing going on right there. All right, so go back over here, go back over to the groups. And on the starch lady, we've just had such a great demonstration of people doing stuff. This looks like those, I think that was one of Gina's. That's one of my grandkids. Is she cute? That is just so adorable. Sorry, I had to pause for grandchild identification. This one here, Samantha did a huge cucumber and potato. Her mom, Mama Jules, is growing tomatoes. That's awesome. So that's
She's
cool.
growing everything.
Nice, nice. Makes dinner on Sundays easy, doesn't it? This one is Ingrid's. Let's go find some Melanie ones on here. There we go. There's this is Melanie, and she's sauteing something here. Let's listen in and see what she's got going on. The sauteed onions and green peppers reminds me of Chipotle. They'll give you a scoop of those, but they don't limit those and they don't charge extra for those like they do the other stuff. And so I was like, no, I'll take one more. No, and another one, and another one, and another one, when we're desperate. Now, I do know they use some oil at Chipotle, but as far as option goes, this is one from our buddy, the registered dietitian, Jeff Novick, who is employed for over 20 years now by the McDougall program. This was his potato crust. He also did one with polenta. This is what it turned out when I did it on a deep dish with the mashed potatoes, but the other one even held together even better. He also does a corn grits corn grits pizza crust. Going down here, let's find some more. I wonder if I can search it, because you put on quite a few in the last little bit here. You and Debbie both. There's Tasha's, Carolyn's. I mean, this is great. This is why we love doing this, because and that's why I want to give points for this. I want to see more pictures. I want to see more recipes, because gives hope to the new people. They're like, oh, that looks simple enough. I can do that. It doesn't have to be fancy all the time. Just
That's my motto. I simple. And then, you know, I'm getting a lot of private messages and stuff on Instagram saying like, do you have recipes? Can you help me? Like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, well, my motto is to keep it simple. Honestly, I had a college girl reach out to me saying, do you have really quick recipes? I said, I mean, a recipe is never going to be really quick, but what you could do is put some rice and broccoli on a plate, make a baked potato with a salad. You know, like it doesn't have to be, and I think that's just, you know, the way that society is, you know, that's how we look at things. It has to be like this big, huge thing, and it really doesn't. And you'll see most of my meals are not, I like it simple. I'm busy. I like quick and easy. And then there's times, sometimes I'll make a pizza at home. You know, that's extra work. That's more time, but that's occasional.
I think my biggest plus was learning how to just take and wash the potatoes dry, throw them in the crock pot and walk away. And then at the end of the day, after about 8 hours, I let them cool down. I throw them in the fridge and they're always there. So if I'm grazing and I need something, I just have to open the old meat drawer. It's full of potatoes. There's sweet potatoes on one side, there's baby potatoes in the middle, there's the yellow Yukon Golds or whatever on the left. You know, I mean, you just open it. It's like the only decision I have to make is which one I want to grab. And sometimes I grab one of all, you know. So, but there's some really, really good stuff. I'm just going to try and see if I can go this way and see if there's any just photos that pop up this way, if we can do it. So yeah, there's this one that was on the 17th, it looks like. Look at that.
Yeah, it was a little more work behind that one, but it was really good.
Tell us what that is.
Okay, so I have like a all-purpose, I don't even know, like an all-purpose beefless ground meat type style thing that I make. Originally it started off by making like patties, and so I would have burgers all the time, but I've been able to make, I mean, I still do the patties. Sometimes I leave it like just as like a crumble. I put it in my like pasta for like a hamburger helper type dish. I've turned it into like meatloaf pucks, and then I've done like a meatloaf type thing here. I've put it in my I've put it in my lasagna soup. Yeah, it's very multi-purpose, and you can change the flavorings by changing the seasonings. It's very versatile and super simple, and yeah, really tasty.
Remember what's in it? Just a ballpark of what's in it. Is this the one that was the oats and something?
Yeah, so it always has the base of oats and rice. Oats, rice, and then I season it with like soy sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, pretty basic. If I wanted to change it up to like a sausage type flavor, then I would add like, what is it, like fennel or, you know, something like that, but it's pretty basic. This one I added green bell pepper and mushrooms. But yeah, I mean, really, you could take it as far as you want.
Yeah, that's amazing. So the only other place that I have seen the oat and would you tell me oat and what?
Rice.
Oat and rice. The only other place I've seen oat and rice used, it's on YouTube. You'll get these two twins that are hilarious in the vegan community, and they call it the fartless burger. Because most burger substitutes are made with lentils or beans.
Yeah.
People that are not used to eating the complex sugars like that. Beans don't do that for me anymore, because if you eat them on a regular basis, your body gets used to it and it handles it perfectly. And it's such a high source of plant protein, but also a high source of fiber. And so by eating that on a regular basis, I remember when we lived in North Dakota on the Canadian border for about 5 years, I had a Korean friend who every single meal, I don't care if it was breakfast cereal or pancakes or tuna sandwich for lunch or, tacos for dinner, whatever they were having, their kids had to eat a scoop of beans first. And she was doing it for fiber content, but there was never any flatulence going on at their house because their bodies had adjusted and gotten used to it. It's when you don't eat them for a long period of time to become an issue. And so when I found that fartless burger on YouTube and I tried it and I used it also for a meatloaf. And I like your suggestion here on how to make it into a sausage and different things, adding different seasonings. You could really use that versatility. And it's pre-cooked. You're just really heating it.
Basically, yeah.
Shaping it to whatever shape you want to pull off that day.
And I've done it like on the barbecue, in a pan, in the air fryer, in the oven. It's, yeah.
That's awesome. It looks like you had mashed potatoes, some mushroom gravy, peas, and cauliflower. That's awesome. Very good. Let's see if I can get that to go back. Oh, I do not know how to navigate this. I have got to figure this part out. Let's go back.
You have to exit out of the picture that you had,
That's
gone
screened
into.
on.
Yeah.
Are these yours, Melanie? Oh, okay, that worked. Now we're scrolling down. There they are, right there on the grill.
Yeah.
Look at that. In fact, when I saw it the first time, I go, what is that? And I go, oh no, this is Melanie. I know it is completely compliant. We have nothing to worry about there. My new grill that we got last year after our trip has not seen any animal on it. It's only had half of a lettuce. My daughter's from Mexico. My daughter-in-law is from Mexico, and they cut the lettuce in half and they grill it. And then they flip it over and they put their cochita cheese on there. But instead I put on, my fake cheese. It is really good. It's really, really good. This is working. I'm getting Melanie stuff now. This looks like a lasagna soup. The lasagna noodles stripped in. That's probably some of that. Looks like lentils or something in the background there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, who's got some questions for this genius in the kitchen here? Don't you just want to pet that, give it a name, invite it to dinner?
If I did not see that you, wait, I'm not muted, am I?
No, you're talking.
If I did not see you with the weight loss, my question would be, so when you make, all these different kind of things, and I love that your plates are as full as mine are. I love to eat, and
I'm a volume eater. Yeah.
I eat a lot. But it still works.
Yeah.
But I only eat the basic, I don't make, I have made the cheese sauce a couple of times, but I think, that's a lot, because I'll eat a lot of that cheese sauce. And it's like, that's a lot of food. I'm more than what I usually eat when I put the sauce on or something like that. So, or if you make things that are, I don't know, I just think, gosh, I cannot imagine losing weight eating all that, not your plate, but all the extra stuff, that's in it that you don't see. Am I making myself clear, or y'all are confused by what I'm
saying? But it works. It works. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing you is like, oh, okay. Otherwise I'd be like, yeah, she probably still needs to lose weight.
Well, I actually do. I don't know if this has ever been discussed before, but McDougall has a weight chart it's divided into men and women, and he has their height and then approximately what they should weigh following this plan. And I'm I'm heading towards what he suggests. I think it's more like a general, like in and around. So for my height, I think it says about 117 pounds. When I met my husband, I was 118. So it was perfect for me then. Today, I would be more than happy to settle in around 125. So that puts me about 23 pounds out that I need to try to shake off. But I think I'm kind of more so gauging like how I look and how I feel. And you know, you're not going to starve, like your body is going to eventually balance itself out, and you're not going to keep losing until there's nothing left. So yeah.
That's a lot of skinny. I mean, how tall are you?
5'5".
Yeah. So when I met with Dr. Lim, Dr. Lim set my goal weight, Sam, at 5'4 3/4, so 5'5". He set my goal weight at 120. And I'm like, Melanie, when I got married to my second husband almost 30 years ago, I weighed 124, and that was after having 5 kids. So I know I can do it, and I'm ecstatic that somebody else is holding me accountable to that, because I was going to set the goal of like 150, 140. We've got Beth in our group, and we're missing her again today, but you know, Beth is 108 to 110 pounds, you know, and we're about the same height. And she started out at 220 or 204. I was 250. She was 204. And she started actually doing the McDougall at 179. And she has now dropped down to 108. She has never seen that probably since elementary school. And she feels great. She's preparing for a half marathon now, you know?
The thing is, McDougall does, he talks about this, and it's like, okay, when people spout off those numbers, generally people are shocked, like, oh my God, there'll be nothing left of you. But I think it's just because we're so used to seeing everybody heavier that, you know, it is shocking. But again, like I said, I was 118 pounds when I met my husband. Nobody said to me then, oh, you are too skinny, you need to put on weight, you know?
No, they said you were hot and he carried up. That's what they said.
Exactly.
I just think when you get older, you should be, you know, a little more padding so you don't break your bones.
Well, if you'd stop bouncing off sidewalks, Sam, it would be very helpful. But Melanie, can you do us a huge favor? And if you can find that chart and copy it and put a little blurb on that in the group for me, that'd be great.
I do have it. I will look it up for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be excellent. Nancy, Carolyn, Debbie, anybody else have any questions for Melanie today?
No, it's all great. I appreciate all the ideas.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, this is what we're living and breathing for, is these testimonials, this community that has been, you guys are as much of a motivation for me as I hope I can give back to you. But I mean, I'm telling you what, this has been phenomenal, getting to know each of you, and the people that are going to watch the playback on this, you know, put a comment down below and tell Melanie how wonderful a job she did. Debbie did a great job. We've had Joy on. Joy lost 150 pounds, has kept it off for like 4 or 5 years now, I think. She was one of our other guest speakers. We're going to try and get some more guest speakers on there. If you guys have a great topic you want to talk about, you can be our guest speaker. If you want to suggest a topic that you want me to research for you, I would be more than happy to do that, because I want you to get something out of these luncheons that we're offering, so that you are comfortable and you have the tools to move forward with. So goal this week. Last week we were going to do a goal. Does anybody remember what last week's goal was? I think we were going to skip the breads. We were skipping in the processed in a bag convenience type stuff. It does not really take that much longer to throw some mashed potatoes or hash browns out like Melanie did. Throw it in the oven and make some little tortillas or wraps or whatever you want to call them, and keep it compliant. I mean, she's not even adding anything to that. I know with the mashed potatoes, I was trying to get them a little bit more sticky, but by using the fresh potatoes that are already sticky and shredding them the next day, you solve the problem and not having to add a tapioca starch to it, or a potato starch or a guar gum to it to be able to get it to, bind together. But
Diane, I have a question. She had her hand up.
yes, Diane.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to say to our speaker that I agree so much with what you're saying. I am so right on board. I like your approach. It's what works for me. It's what I really believe in. And I'm just so glad you were on today. I thought you were terrific, absolutely terrific.
Thank you.
Diane, you've lost
And
quite a bit of weight yourself. What have you lost so far? I can't remember.
yeah, probably 40, and I have about 60 left to go.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
and
done
it's going to
really
be slow at this point because I'm just using up the starches, and yeah, so I'm not eating the way I normally would right now. I'm just using up everything around the house.
There you
So
go.
so I won't make much progress probably for a month, but that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Just stay hydrated, because basically what you're doing at this point with eating more starches is you're doing the starch solution version, which is a 70 to 90%, starch plate. So
Yeah.
my husband, since the surgery, he's been really good about helping to make sure that I'm getting a big old bowl of oatmeal every day. And that is a huge amount of fiber and nutrients as well. And that's been helping. So, eating the things that help us to stay cleaned and cleared out. If you start backing up, something needs to be tweaked just a little. But
Yeah. I also wanted to say for our speaker that I do know Pam Popper, and she is excellent. She's a wonderful person to work with. She's been doing this kind of thing for a long time, and she's in Ohio, Southern Ohio, and she has, I'm not sure, it's a clinic or something, but I've
Yeah,
heard her as a
Wellness Forum Health.
speaker. Yes, Wellness Forum, yes. And it's completely compatible with what we're doing. I'm so glad you mentioned her. So
I would love
that
to,
was,
like, maybe when things get back to normal, like, I would love to just go and like visit Ohio for the week, just to go to her program. And because they have like a potluck every Friday night, and like-minded people, and just the education and stuff. I would love to do that.
yeah, and we need that kind of we need that support. It really helps. And speaker, you were fantastic. Is your name Melanie?
Yes.
Our speaker. Okay, Melanie. You were fantastic. I'm so glad you were on today. You really were wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
we just got a brand new client in Ohio. So I'm going to be in Ohio. So like I said, I'm going to be binge watching anything I can find on YouTube from her, and maybe I can swing by and check that out as we're going through. I get it in my head that, one state, but if you go to Texas, if you ever come to Texas, just know that it takes 10 hours to get from the New Mexico border to my town. And I'm only in the middle. So, not all states are created equal. My son just moved to the east in Massachusetts, and it's like he can go to a day trip to like so many different little states because they're so close, So I get a little bit of a state phobia there. I was interested. Gina didn't recognize the town I was going to, the two towns I'll be in. So it's like, I'm interested to find out where hers is in the state. So it's going to be fun. So any other questions?
I think she's in the Columbus area.
Columbus, Ohio.
She's a real powerhouse. She's one of those people that lives two lives at once. I mean, I think she only sleeps 4 hours at night, and that's all she needs. That's just the way she is. And she does everything. She does everything. She speaks, she writes, she developed her own clinic. She just has so much going on. Yeah, amazing. Totally amazing person. And Melanie, thank you so much. You were just great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dr. McDougall talks about not sleeping too much, and he averages about 6 hours a night. And that was one of the cures for depression as well. And not oversleeping and not getting more than he says no more than 7.5 hours. We go past 8 hours at, as an adult, you start to go into a over, and then you're just kind of droopy and sleeping in until noon on the weekends and sleeping 10 and 12 hours at a time. You waste your day, but at the same time you can't really get up and go going because you've put yourself into that foggy, gray area, I guess you could say. He has a whole video on that too. Again, McDougall depression, and that will pop up for you. So, and then for vitamin D, he has us being outside between 11 and 3 for about 10 minutes every day. So my husband's job is to come home at lunchtime and wheel me out to the mailbox for 10 minutes a day so I can get some vitamin D. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all being here today. We've gone overtime, and I appreciate you doing that. Melanie, you did a fantastic job, really did. And I'm just so glad to have you and Debbie both in our group and sharing your ideas with us and doing the maximum weight loss with us. And I've been referring people over to your mini group over and over again. When they want to do a Mary's Mini, I go, okay, you can do it and I can help you, but go over and join this site too. And get them to go over there and get some really, really firsthand good examples. So I appreciate your work and your efforts in that behalf. So, all right,
Thanks,
guys.
yeah, fun.
Absolutely. And thank your family for allowing us to steal you.
Okay.
All right, guys, you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget, keep track of your points and let me know on Tuesday night before the 6th of the first Wednesday of July, the night before. Make sure I get your points, but you're going to get points for every food photo, every health nutrition tip like Carolyn gave us earlier today, and if you attended the class or you left a comment after class. So keep track of those 3 things, and let's see who our next.
Liked it better when y'all were doing it for us.
I don't have that kind of time, girl. That's why it takes me so long to figure it out. Beth has kind of disappeared. I think she's taking care of grandkids, but she was doing it for me for a while. She's still moderating though. The people that join the group, she's the one that always welcomes them and sends them a little welcome thing. So, okay, Debbie, you doing good over there?
Doing great, thanks.
Right. Nancy, it's a pleasure meeting you. Can't wait to hear more from you and see some benefits that you're going to experience just for your health. This is going to be great. And like I said, the weight loss is the side effect. It's one we
Thank you.
One we live with every day. All right, guys.
When I was a sweet young thing, I had some anorexia, so it'll be good to do it the right way this time. Thanks so much.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. We're here for you. All right, y'all. Take care and have a great week.
Rosemary, call me.
You too.
Okay, I'll call you soon.
Call me. All right. Bye.